So hi, welcome to our Business Challenge 2022. Chosen Cycles. I'm Matt.
I'm Hugo.
I'm Tom.
I'm Alex.
So what does Chosen Cycles offer? We repair broken, old and used bikes and we give them a new life. We're going to be selling upcycled bikes at an affordable rate, and we also offer services such as how to maintain bikes to people like you.
Our mission statement is pushing our community to become greener one pedal at a time.
So what problems do we attempt to solve? We attempt to solve how sustainable Gloucester is a city. We also want to solve problems with traffic on our roads. I'm sure you can agree with me that there's traffic on our roads at the moment. We want to help the less unfortunate, i.e. refugees and low-income workers. And we want to make more people active on their bikes to less the restraint on the NHS.
Gloucester needs our business because not just as a city, but as a whole population, we need to become greener. Jumping on the bike and switching from a car journey is one way we can start to support Gloucester as an area to become environmentally friendly. On average, around 4.6 metric tons of CO2 per year are released into the atmosphere. This not only contributes to climate change, which is an important factor, but it also has health implications.
As a business, we will be utilising the triple bottom line effect, which is a business concept that takes into consideration environmental, social and financial performance. We will be focusing more on the social and environmental impact more than the financial.
We want to utilise bike lanes. So in the handouts that Alex and Tom just gave out, there is a map of the cycle lanes in and around Gloucestershire area. And I don't know if any of you have been around Gloucester lately, but there is a substantial amount of new cycle lanes, and these cycle lanes are funded by taxpayers' money. For example, your money or your parents' money, for example, for people who don't pay tax. On average, the cycle lanes are only going to sustain one new cyclist for every £5,000 spent on these cycle lanes, and cycle lanes cost approximately £100,000 to £900,000 depending on the complexity and the amount of junctions that they acquire.
There are a number of benefits to cycling rather than driving a car. Some of these examples are the prevention and management of diseases such as diabetes, decreased stress levels, reduced anxiety and depression, and it also aids cardiovascular fitness. As well as both physical and mental health benefits, cycling also helps mitigate global warming and helps people save money on fuel, which is extremely important in this day and age.
How profit is made. So profit will be made by simply obtaining the bikes at the price, and we'll be selling them on for more, in essence. In some cases we will not make a profit on our bikes because in your handouts, as you see, we made a pie chart. We just went round interviewing 100 people, and this is on average what we found out that an average person would sell for their second-hand bike. So if you just give those things a read, that's our averages. And we found on average that we would fix a bike for £30. However, in some cases we will be able to fix bikes for cheaper, or if it's more than this, we will not partake in this opportunity to buy the bike because it would not be viable. We aim to make £77,400 profit in the first year. We are going to be able to do this by selling 50 road bikes on average a month, 150 adults bikes a month, and 200 child bikes a month. However, in some months we may see a rise in sales, i.e. the summer months, and in the months we are in now, Christmas, by people buying bikes, etc. And in other months we'll see the average decline. As mentioned before, we are adopting the triple bottom line effect, so we would like to focus more on social and the environmental impact from our business rather than just make as much money as possible.
So how will we be gaining our stock? We will rely on donations, and we will also shop around using apps such as Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree. We also will have an exchange plan in place where people with smaller bikes can come and trade in their bikes. So, for example, they have a bike worth £40 and they want one of our bigger bikes worth £60. They will trade in their bike and they will also pay £20. This means that young people are able to upgrade their bikes, and it also gives us a constant stock of bikes. We also found out that young people never really tend to upgrade to a bigger bike because they're a lot more expensive.
Now, our main partner during this venture would be Cyclability or Bikeability. So obviously those young people in the audience, when you were younger in primary school, maybe early years of secondary school, you may have done Cyclability, a bit of cycling proficiency, obviously to get you confident on the roads. But obviously, some of you may not know in here that Bikeability or Cyclability is also offers training, cycling training for adults. So we found in our research that 1 in 8 people cannot ride a bike over the age of 18. And furthermore, we asked around our school, asked our teachers, and only a few actually ride their bikes regularly. Now, working with Bikeability, our aim is to change that and make sure loads of people are riding to school, are all riding to work or other places they may commute to. Furthermore, if, let's say, an adult uses the Bikeability programs and training to get more confident on the roads, then they'll be offered a discount at our store to keep them, to encourage them to then buy themselves a bike and then ride it.
We also did email Cyclability about the opportunity to partner with them. They did come back to us and they said that we'd have to email Think Travel because they're the ones that carry out the Cyclability at a local level. We have indeed emailed Think Travel, but they have yet to respond to us. But Cyclability did say they were interested in our offer.
To fund our business, we will join the Prince's Trust. They work with the startup loans company who can offer us low-interest personal loans. This money will help us buy initial stock, tools and accessories. It will also aid us with the branding and promotion as well as the initial startup costs.
So that leaves us with one last question. Would you invest?
Okay, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Bang on time, guys. Well done. Okay, over to the panel for a couple of 3 minutes of questions then.
Would you consider, I'm sorry, I'm told I've got to speak closer to the mic. Would you consider postcoding or somehow or engraving on the bikes? Because my last bike, my son, was stolen outside my son's university. Not this one, but and I looked at buying new ones, and it's so expensive, as you say. But would you consider identifying them so they can be picked up perhaps by the police if they do get stolen?
Yes, we would consider this. We, as a team, we also discussed the possibility of making sure, because we thought of that idea as well, bikes getting stolen. We thought of the idea of in places like universities and in just different regions, like in London where they have the cycle bikes where you just put in. We like to create a kind of a place where you can park your bike up and it's in a safe contained spot where you have a code, a one-time code, and you put this code in and it keeps your bike safe for that amount of time. Any other questions for us?
Yeah, so you've spoken in your presentation about the supply of bikes coming from donations, Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree. Have you looked into how reliable that supply of goods is? What happens if you're not getting donations or if there's nothing on Facebook Marketplace? Will you still have enough to supply your business?
That's a very good question. We have looked into this, as Tom mentioned earlier. Once we've got our stock up, the exchange scheme would make us rely on a good amount of stock, so we would have a constant supply of stock. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
Yes.
Would you work with local recycling centres in bike donations and bike repairs?
Yes, we would, yes. We have obviously cyclability. We would look to promote within schools and get our bikes out there because the more people on bikes is what's best for us. Any other questions at all?
Yeah, one last question. Does anyone else already do this?
Yes, they do. The Gloucester Bike Project, they do something similar. They are located in the Gloucester city centre, and they do a similar thing, but we feel like we offer a more different edge to it because we're focusing on the social as well as the environmental impact, whereas they just focus on mostly the social impact and giving to, I believe we did some research and they give to refugee workers, and they did a project such as the NHS one to get more people to ride in on bikes in lockdown.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, good question for me. Great presentation, by the way. Can you just go left to right, just remind us of your names, please?
I'm Hugo.
I'm Tom.
I'm Matt.
I'm Alex.
Great, thank you.
Okay, give a round of applause.
Hello everyone, I'm Josh.
I'm Liam. And I'm Charlie.
Currently on the board we have a question. What is the most common New Year's resolution? So any of the judges, what do you think the most common New Year's resolution?
Lose weight?
Yeah, lose weight, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So from our research, it shows that the most common New Year's resolutions for Brits is dieting and losing weight and fitness.
In a few weeks' time, the January gym rush will be upon us, in which we'll see a large peak in the number of gym members. Sadly, on average, 29% fail their New Year's resolutions within the first 3 weeks. This is the reason people tend to fail is due to distractions and lack of knowledge in the significance of nutrition in their fitness journey.
And this is where we come in, plates
And shakes.
Our mission is to provide gym goers with the meals and shakes they need to prepare progress in their fitness journey all in one space. To do this, we're teaming up with Pure Gym to give their members a great balance of exercise and diet.
We've decided to work with Pure Gym because they're the biggest gym chain in the country, and they also are expanding into the global market with gyms in Denmark and expanding globally, so that's what we'd be interested to do in the future.
How will this partnership work? We will be working with Pure Gym through capital contribution, but that will give us the finance to open up Plates and Shakes restaurants nearby in return for a percentage of profit and their customers getting discounts on the meals and shakes they purchase. In future, we would potentially be looking to work with other gym branches and chains across the UK and across the world.
So on the screen here is a map of Gloucester, and here's Pure Gym. And then this map shows all the fast food restaurants near around Pure Gym. You have KFC, you have McDonald's just down the road, obviously the main two, and everyone knows that this is not good for dieting if you are going to the gym.
And these distractions can often lead to obesity or diabetes. This can be seen in both people young and old. Bad diets are solely responsible for 11 million deaths worldwide a year. That's more than any other individual risk factor, including smoking. We talked about encouraging gym members to succeed in weight loss. Now we're focused on the more regular gym goers and why plates and shakes can be so important to them. So we've got a bit of a Family Fortunes style theme. I do realise Family Fortunes doesn't work like this, but for the purpose of the survey, we asked 100 gym goers, would you say you have a healthy diet? Our survey said 62. Do you care about your diet? Our survey said 95. Do you find it hard to keep a healthy diet? Our survey said 73. Do you easily fall temptation of fast food? Our survey said 60. And finally, is it hard for you to combine both diet and exercise? Our survey said 78. This survey shows that even full-time gym goers struggle with dieting and exercise, which leaves them no better option than plates and shakes. Here we have Tom and Don. There they are. Switch to the right. So they're both good at the gym to do the same workout, mainly because they don't really exist at all, because I just made them up for the purpose of this. Both similar weight, similar height, both to the gym, do the same workout. But Tom decides he's going to drive home to eat food. So he gets in his car. As you can see, it's a very slow car, but it is moving. It is moving. So I'm going to explain what's happened to his body while he's on his way home. So he's currently experiencing excess post-oxygen consumption, which is where your body burns calories after you've exercised. So he's still burning calories. And this can greatly affect, so it could take around 15 minutes for this to carry on, but some studies suggest it takes several hours for this to keep continuing, where you still burn calories.
And on the other hand, he's gone to Plates and Shakes and he's got a protein shake tailored to his needs. So for example, if he's bulking and he wants to put on weight, he's then gone to the gym, done a workout, and he's then had a shake with, it could be over 600 calories, whatever he needs, Plates and Shakes offers it. And that helps hit his daily macronutrients targets such as protein, carbohydrates, and calories. It makes his journey in the gym a lot, not easier, but it makes it more efficient, and it makes it more time efficient.
Oh, Tom's still not home. Does he know we've only got 8 minutes?
And when he gets home, he's too lazy, he's just done a workout, so you might just get something very simple like a pot noodle, which isn't very healthy for you. And especially when you're trying to train very regularly, it's really not good for you when you're eating poor food.
And that's just one way that Plates and Shakes can benefit you. It can help you in weight loss, weight gain, increasing levels of vitamins, as well as that, increasing iron and protein, and helping to avoid food temptations, and most importantly, teaching you about your body and what it needs.
Now, eating healthy doesn't need to just help you, it can help the planet, which is why Plates and Shakes only uses locally sourced food. This reduces the amount of CO2 released into the atmosphere, which, as we will not require the use of planes, trains and lorries as much. This can help reduce our costs as a business, as we don't need to import goods from places like the EU, where it's become hard to source from as the UK is no longer part of it.
We've also noticed over the last few months the increasing costs of nutrition, which is why Plates and Shakes are committed to lowering our prices to allow everyone to take advantage of a nutritional diet. For example, Optimum Nutrition sell their mass protein powder for £3.25 per serving, or £52 for the whole tub, whereas the Plates and Shakes equivalent is only £2.
To make a good business a great business, you need a good amount of profit all year round. Pure Gym have 1.4 million members just in the UK, with 327 gyms nationwide. Just in one gym they average 600 members daily. Using our survey, our menu prices, as well as our future customer projections, we can estimate the next 5 years of profit. For the first year after opening 3 stores, we estimate a profit of just under £500,000. Year 2, we would see a profit around £1 million with an extra 3 stores opening. Year 3 would see a jump up to 20 stores nationwide with a profit of £2.5 million. And finally, in year 5, we would have an added additional 20 stores leading to a profit of £9 million.
Now, to end our presentation, we want to talk to you about the future of Plates and Shakes, an app where you can also track macros, macronutrients, but it will also give out private workouts just tailored to you and your needs. It's something it's the future of Plates and Shakes. Once we've opened up stores, gained a good amount of profit, we want to reinvest that money into an app. Obviously, it keeps up with the social trends of people use their phones for everything, and obviously we want Plates and Shakes to be a part of people's lives if they go to the gym, because obviously there's a massive number of people starting their fitness journeys. So yeah, an app is definitely part of our future.
That's it.
Thank you for listening.
7 minutes, 39 seconds. Well done, guys. Okay, over to the panel.
Okay, great presentation, guys. You said that Pure Gym will be looking to take 10% of your income.
Yep.
What do you see them offering for that?
So they'll give us the finance to open up the stores nearby. So we've realised that gyms won't have the room in the stores to put a restaurant in it, a gym restaurant. So we put it, so when you walk out the gym, you'll be able to see the restaurant right by it, so it's in the eye line. So that's what they'd help us with. So we feel like we should give them a bit of money back for letting us set up stores. So that's why we give them 10%.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so in your presentation, you've spoken briefly on sustainability and locally sourcing your ingredients. You've also talked about going international.
Yeah.
How are you going to manage to locally source ingredients and go international whilst offering consistent shakes to everyone?
Well, when we do go globally. The food that is used in those restaurants will be local to that area. So, for example, our store in Gloucester will be using food local to Gloucester. If we do go into Denmark, where Pure Gym is, we'd use food from that area. We wouldn't be flying in sauces or anything like that. Obviously, one, because of sustainability, and two, because of Brexit. Obviously, we're not part of that trade bloc anymore, so that'd be more tariffs, quotas, which would just reduce our costs as a business and make us less competitive. Any more questions?
You mentioned custom packages. How would you determine the ingredients for each consumer?
So I think when we develop an app and things like that, we could get that rolling more. So you'd put in like what you're allergic to and what you're sort of you're trying to achieve, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, and then it would tailor around what you need for those certain things. I guess so that's what we try and do, try and make it tailored and personal. Because everyone's different. No one's got the same thing. No, like me and Charlie were two very different people. I'm about 5'8" and you're about 6'1". So there's a big difference in what we all need. So that's what we do. Anymore.
Okay, Charles.
I just wonder why I had to feel so guilty this time of year. I mean, I think that was because it was a really good presentation. It reminds me what I need to do next month.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Give me a applause.
Hi, my name is Goodness and Mercy.
Hi, my name is Siwad.
And today we're going to be talking about our product called Crown.
And why we think it's going to be successful.
So these are all the points that we're going to be talking about today. Just take a look. And yeah. So many of you might be wondering, what is Crown? Well, Crown is a hair care appliance that distributes oils onto the hair strand via an applicator bottle. Its aim is to nourish and rejuvenate hair through a hot oil treatment. The product is to be built with a range of heat settings, controlling the temperature of the oil and regulating it. Crown will also be sold with 3 different applicator heads using a range of oils so that the viscosity of the oils can be passed through the applicator. So the product. It was very difficult to find images corresponding to the idea because there was such a large gap in the market. Therefore, we have used a very simplified version. So excuse the simplicity of it. But this is a manual applicator. And then this is an electronic hair straightening brush. So using the design of the manual applicator and then the technology and engineering from the straightening brush, we can then merge both of these ideas together to create our own heated oil applicator.
The target market. Crown is targeted to anyone and everyone who has hair and is willing to take some time to strengthen and grow it. It is great for those who have busy schedules and as it is efficient and easy to use. Why is it useful? It saves money as it saves money, particularly gas and electric, as not much electricity is used. 2, it cuts down materials, less equipment is used, so no stove, no applicator and no spatula. And 3, it's time efficient, less prep time, so you just pour the oil and you wait till it warms up. And 4, when the oil has reached its required temperature, the system cools down naturally, so it's safe for users.
So why will it be successful? We believe that Crown will be successful as it fills a gap in the market. This means that initially there will be a lack of competition and our company can use price skimming as our pricing strategy to generate profit and revenue for our business. It can be marketed to many demographics. For example, a lawyer working a 9-to-5 job, or a teenager on the journey to self-discovery. It's also convenient. It's useful for the purpose of hair care. Our research. So we carried out market research on a small-scale sample, and as a result, we found that people with straight and wavy hair only shampooed their hair as a way to take care of it. They did nothing more. On the other hand, we found that those with curly and coily hair had a solid hair care regimen consisting of deep conditioning, performing hot oil treatments, and protein treatments.
We also found that many people would like to care for their hair but cannot due to their busy lifestyle. Additionally, people do not know how to take care of their hair properly. People have a negative perspective on hair care and see it as something that is a hassle.
Complementary goods. So Crown can be sold with multiple complementary goods. For example, oil. We've been talking about it this entire time. Oil is perfect because it works hand in hand with the product itself. It could also be sold with a hair care bundle that contains all items needed for a successful wash day. For example, leave-in conditioner, a wide tooth comb, and some shampoo.
Crown will be sold in both stores and online. This is so that the target market is reached on a large scale. The Crown website is an ideal place to launch the product, as it has info about what the product is and what it's used for, and any other queries customers might have.
So, our vision for the future. In the future, we see Crown being a worldwide product sold in many department stores globally, becoming a household name for many, and we also see Crown becoming the main face of hair care and beauty. And that is Crown. Thank you for listening.
6 minutes and 15 seconds. Well done. That's good time. Okay, over to the panel.
What social media would you use to promote this?
I feel like it can use any social media. Things like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat even. We can generate ads from there. We can also get some UGC work done with our company. So we can offer this product to individuals, and then through their platforms, we can then use them to market our product.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yes?
Is influencer marketing part of your strategy, and who would you choose?
Oh, good question.
I guess yes, it is part of our strategy. We could choose many different types of people, anyone really. We could use men, women, anyone. There's literally such a wide demographic of people. We could use both mainstream influencers like, I don't know, like just anyone. It's just so wide of a demographic, we could use anyone to do it. So, yeah.
Leading on from that a little bit, so you said it's a very wide demographic, and you said in your presentation that people with straight or wavy hair tend to just shampoo, they don't have a proper hair care regimen, and then people with curlier hair put in more effort. Would you be aiming more for those people who already know what they're doing and they care about their hair to make their life easier, or are you more looking at introducing new people into the hair care market?
Both, I feel like. The people with straighter and wavier hair have been asking for help of how they can care for their hair strands and how they can nourish their hair. So I feel like introducing this product with instructions or like a way of taking care of your hair would be a great idea for those with wavy and straight hair, but also people with curlier hair, because they already have this knowledge of how to take care of their hair. Introducing this product can just benefit them, so we could introduce it to all areas of people.
Cool, thank you.
No problem.
You got a question, Andy?
Not yet.
Obviously, it's a brand new product. You said you can't find anything else in the marketplace already. Do you have any indication on what the retail price would be for one of the applicators? And how that fits compared to the rest of the market?
We have not decided what the retail price would be. We feel like we need to do more market research on that aspect before we can do such.
To apply this product, do you need the electric hair straighteners and the little device?
No, so basically it's one product.
Okay.
So instead of using a stove to heat up your oil and using like a separate applicator, pouring in, using a spatula to mix it all, it's one product that heats the oil for you, and it also lets you apply it to your hair easily. So, yeah.
I think it's probably too late for me to start oiling my hair. Or would it give me hair like that, do you think, if I...
It's not about the length of hair. It's more about rejuvenating, nourishing, caring for your hair. It's more about, having health rather than length.
Yeah, maybe if you're developing a product that has a heating element to it, you might be able to build in a hair regrowth type product that I might be interested in.
I mean, the types of oil that you use also benefits the length of your hair and how it grows. So if you use things like peppermint oil or jojoba oil, it has more like lengthening aspects, and yeah.
If you're hanging around at the end, Charles, you better tell you where you can go and purchase some. Okay, thank you very much.
So my name's Charlotte. I'm Caitlin. And our idea is the community cupboard. So the problem we're solving is the cost of living. So at the moment, the cost of living is a very prominent crisis across the country. And the way we are focusing on it is especially at this time of year, at Christmas, and food banks being overwhelmed. So a lot of food banks are running out of food. They don't have enough people, or there's not enough people, staff, giving donations. There's not enough people in the community giving donations. And people at the moment are deciding whether to heat their houses or to eat.
So what sets us apart from a food bank is we provide a judgment-free environment for anyone who needs food from the cupboard, no matter their income or who they are. We also target the community cupboard at the younger generation, as we are keeping it in our schools, so it allows younger people who may be self-sufficient or their families don't have enough money to buy food but they're not eligible for free school meals. So this helps them to get food in schools.
So about the community cupboard, we have set the community cupboard up at our school and it has started working. We take in non-perishable goods, so pasta, rice, jars, cans, and we do rely on people bringing food in and donating to us.
So our aim, so the community cupboard is a place where people can go to get food, and anyone can take it, and they take what they need when they need.
So the importance of the community cupboard we've covered briefly, but it is to provide people with food over especially the harder winter months, but throughout the year as well. So it's actually been recorded that 18% of people this year have had to turn their fridges or freezers off to save money on electric.
The food banks have also reported that there is an increase in people trying to get certain products so they don't have to cook them, so they don't have to use as much electricity in their houses.
And to us it's important to help as many families as we can, because we know that providing community is very important. It is something that we've lost touch of over the last few years, and it's only just starting to crop up again over the pandemic.
So the main objectives of the project is to help people with the living crisis, to provide a judgment-free place where people can go to get the food they need, to
create a separate identity from a food bank, and to provide a community within our school. So far we've collected food donations, so we've sent an email out to our whole school asking for people to bring in non-perishable goods, and so we could get the cupboard set up. We've also done stock checks, so we've created a spreadsheet, and we're keeping track of what items are popular, so what people are taking and what people are bringing in, and then their expiry dates, because obviously we don't want to give out food that's not in date. And then we've advertised around our school as well, so we've put up posters, we've sent emails again, so people are aware, and it's gone out to form tutors, so form tutors can tell the students.
So the community cupboard is currently fully stocked in our sixth form office, where anyone from the sixth form is welcome to help themselves to the food from the cupboard. And it's managed via either of us, and we take it in turns to check what's in the cupboard and what's been taken out, and to make sure everything's still in date.
And what we have noticed is a lot of people in our year have, or not even just in our year, in the school, have some days not been coming in with lunch, so having items in there that they have for lunch has helped them a lot, because families aren't having to worry about getting extra food in the week because they don't have to provide lunch for their kids, because they've got somewhere they can go and get something to eat instead, which is free. So in the future we hope to partner with Tesco's to help, they can donate towards us. So any food they've got on the shelves that's maybe going to go out of a date, that they could donate into the cupboard, and we're hoping that they could put the cupboard into the stores. So in the stores we can have people be going, oh, I'll go and buy something to donate into that cupboard, because at least then that's my good deed for the day done. We also hope to advertise on social media, which is the way Tesco's will make back their profit. So by donating to us, because they don't actually care as much for a community, they care about doing a good deed, and they care about helping socially. So if they can help socially and people go, actually, they are a company that care, people are going to be more inclined to go and shop in their stores. We also do want to expand into other schools and help other schools set up a community cupboard. So because it's not just a issue in our school, it's going to be across the forest, across Gloucestershire and across the UK. So by helping other schools set a community cupboard up, we'll be helping them develop their community in school and outside of school.
Right, thank you very much. Just over 6 minutes. Okay, interesting. Charles.
Just, is this distracting you from your studies? I mean, is there any conflict there, or are you able to manage it
No,
within
so
your free time?
I've been able to manage it. So we've had while we've been setting this up, we've had mocks, so we've had 2 weeks of exams, and we're perfectly fine with managing it, and actually we are now looking on to setting it up for the future and helping other students, so getting year 12s into getting involved, which obviously they'll help with the business world, because they're going to obviously be going into a world where this is going to be a prominent issue. People aren't going to be able to afford luxury goods, so teaching them as early on as possible is going to be great.
Thank you.
What have you done to overcome the stigma of people going or being reluctant to go to the cupboard?
So we've overcome this stigma because we're judgment free. So if someone needs help, we're gonna try and support them as much as possible, and it's confidential as well, because if no one's apart from our receptionist, she's going to be the only person who knows that someone's going to use this cupboard. So actually, you're not having your friends, like people in your year, going, oh, they're going to get food from that cupboard. You know, they're in trouble. No one's going to know. So it's actually, whereas using a food bank, it's quite public to people, and people actually will see you go in. But, you know, you can just kind of slip in at a lunch or a break, or even during lessons if you're ever free. So no one is going to be people can be in lessons or are going to be out enjoying lunch.
Okay. And what about educating people so there isn't a stigma at all?
So we're educating people because cost of living is becoming more prominent online as well, in social media presence. I don't know if anyone else has seen. So we're trying to tell people, you know, if someone does need help, try and support them in your best way possible. It doesn't have to be money, it doesn't have to be a donation of food, but letting them know you're there is a very big part to us, is having that support in the community instead of having people who want to turn their backs on you and not help you. Any other questions?
So, have you looked at partnerships with other similar kind of local charities, like Feed the Hungry or I've forgotten the name of the other one. Revive Cafe. I've forgotten their name. Gloucester City Mission. That's the one. Working with people like that to expand this further beyond the school grounds.
So at the moment we haven't currently looked into things like that, but the one issue we have capitalised on is Gloucester. Is the Forest of Dean mainly is a quite cut off area, so we're spread quite far across the forest. So getting to places for elderly members of your family as well is very difficult. So we've capitalised on kind of having it in the school, so people, it's a bit more easier, grandkids or children of the families can go and help themselves instead of parents kind of having to think, oh, I've got to go out there today. It's taking one more thing off of someone's plate, when they can go actually and say, I've got to go work today, but I know my kid can go and pick something up from their school so we can have a meal tonight together as a family. So we would look into using them to help us expand, so maybe into the bigger areas, into the forest and maybe into further into Gloucester. But currently we're quite happy where we're situated.
Are you doing anything to raise funds to support this?
So we were going to use Tesco's as to help us get our money. So we would charge them a small fee for the advertising on our social medias instead.
Are other schools doing a similar initiative?
As far as we're aware, no, we haven't heard anything similar that other schools are doing. We do know, so we're based in Gloucester as well, so half of our building's Gloucester, half of us is the sixth form. And they are doing a clothes swap, but they haven't actually gone into the food aspect, and that's where we've capitalised on, is the food. So obviously it's a bit more accessible.
Round of applause.
Good morning. We are Genesis Entertainment. All right. My name is Alex. This is Phoebe, Louie, and Alfie. Now let me ask the audience. So, what did you do last weekend?
It's a long time ago, Charles.
I relaxed a lot.
You relaxed? Okay. And do you live in Gloucester?
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham. Okay. Anyone else in the audience? What did you do last weekend?
Worked.
Worked. Yeah. Missed that.
Shopping in Bristol.
Good. Bristol. So how come you didn't stay in Gloucester? Don't mind me asking.
I guess there's not enough shops today, not enough things to do.
So there's not enough to do in Gloucester?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So notice how both their responses are both limited, right? Okay. This shows how Gloucester lacks a unique form of entertainment. Okay. So I'm going to ask again, what separates Gloucester from other cities? Anyone?
Cathedral.
Cathedral. Okay.
Anyone
else?
The dogs.
Dogs, okay.
The best beer in Gloucestershire.
Okay, I mean, entertainment-wise, there's not much, is there? There's no reason to stay in Gloucester.
We asked a sample of 100 students and teachers what they believed was missing in Gloucester. Out of those 100 people, 85 of them said that there was a lack of leisure activities. This is where we believe we need to make a change, and where Genesis can make the difference.
So obviously their market research backs up our initial thought process, but I think if you guys just think amongst yourselves, how many times have you been trying to make plans with your friends at the weekend, everything's too expensive, or no one can agree on something? I feel like there's kind of a mutual acknowledgement, everyone, that we need to develop this and revive the entertainment sector. So the initial problem, just to recap, is that many young adults are leaving Gloucester due to a lack of leisure activities, events and entertainment. This is leading to a great financial loss for the local economy, meaning small businesses are making less revenue and just kind of suffering the impact as well as the cost of living. So our solution is an exciting new project which will rejuvenate Gloucester's entertainment and be inclusive of all people at an affordable level. So.
Now, we don't want to just do this locally, we want to make this nationwide. We want to host a wide range of events appealing to a large demographic of people, anywhere from esports, concerts, comedians, anything. We plan on having 2 rooms, a larger event hall and a smaller theatre room. The larger event hall will host most of the events and the smaller theatre room will be mostly targeted at classic things like classical music, pantomimes and so on.
We would be renovating the old cinema near Gloucester Quays. This is because it is 5 times bigger than the Bristol Hippodrome, which we would consider to be our closest competitors. The capacity of Bristol Hippodrome is 2,000 people, so we've worked it out to have a small room of 2,000 people and a larger room of 8,000 due to safe standing. With this, there is, at Bristol Hippodrome, 5,000 square feet, and at this old cinema there is 25,000 square feet.
Now, we really want to be sustainable. We don't want to make much of a dent in the local pollution to Gloucester. And we also don't want to add too much traffic congestion. Obviously, big events will be bringing people in. So we plan on having shuttles going to and from Gloucester train station and bus station to our event. This decreases pollution due to the lesser carbon emissions as there's less vehicles going. And it gets to everyone there at one place at one time. And another big thing is Gloucestershire Night Stop. We want to be very charitable. 3 pence off every pound will be going to that charity at the end of every year. And the other charitable part of our business, leftover food from an event will be donated to food banks locally. So we really want to help the local community.
Just want to say a thank you, and obviously this is quite a large scale project, so some of the information might be not as accurate as you'd expect, but obviously we're currently looking for like investors because it's going to be on a bigger scale. But obviously everyone knows that Gloucester are undergoing kind of like a rejuvenation process already, like King's Walk's just been like expanded, and we think this would be a really good addition to kind of get Gloucester on the map as well. So we'd like to open the floor to any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Just under 6 minutes. That was a good time. For the bars in that old theatre, I know a man who might be very interested. He might fit that out for you. Okay, Duncan, do you want to go first this time?
Yeah. How do you plan to raise? How do you plan to raise funds for this?
We was looking to use investors because it would bring a lot of money in through having up to 10,000 people. It could be through weeks and weekends especially. Like investors, we would appeal to investors due to like our high interest.
Amazing. Would you use some crowdfunding?
That's a good suggestion, yeah.
I think a lot of people have seen that space being left for years now, and it would be really nice to just kind of do something with it because everything around it is kind of changing, being more modernised, and that's kind of being left behind, but it's a really key part of Gloucester's history, and if we could provide that, then it would really add to the city.
We've just completed a contract for Gloucester City Council on what people think, residents think, and this did come up quite strongly that building and others just lying vacant for many years, isn't it? Yeah. Who owns it?
The Peel Centre, so it's out for rent. Okay. 25,000 square feet. It's a lot of space, so we plan on utilising that quite well.
Yeah.
There's not many other businesses that are going to have the money or the room for that. A lot of people don't have, for a small business, you're not going to need 25,000 square feet. So this is kind of an idea that's going to make use of all of the space, the whole area. And the location is obviously ideal. It's really accessible for people as well.
So you focus on the size of the venue quite a lot. And you said you'll go up to 8,000 people in the larger room. Do you know what the capacities of the the current largest event spaces within the county?
Our largest competitor nearby is Bristol Hippodrome. That was 2,500 capacity, so we'll be a lot bigger and have the capacity to host a lot better events.
Okay, Andy, I can see your brain ticking. Whether
Yeah,
Hazelwood's
come
going
back
to
to
go
me
into
in a second, Mark, please.
whether Hazelwood's going to go into that space in the near future.
Right, just whilst Andy's thinking then, you said the building's currently available for rent, so you would be looking for a long-term lease of the building from the appeal centre, or would you rather get a freehold on the building and own that property outright?
I think short-term lease, as our business becomes more and more successful and profitable, we will want to buy that land for ourselves and hopefully expand.
We've seen the entertainment industry struggle with the fact that weekends tend to be busy, but during the week it's not. Have you any thoughts around that? What they could do to ensure a steady stream of customer?
Well, we believe with a lot of like the universities and colleges, we'd give, with the small room especially, an open mic to give like students and like people around the local area a chance to speak and what they believe.
Just running events during the week on a slightly smaller scale, so a lot of students can experience it, kind of get a flavour of it, and then we can host larger scale events like monthly or weekly depending on the popularity.
We're planning on making the weeknight events a bit cheaper as well to make it more lucrative and attractive for businesses to do, so it keeps more businesses constantly coming in.
Yeah, and if companies are able to host events there too. I know Hazelwood, for example, we have every 2 years we have a staff conference, and every 2 years we struggle to find a venue to fit 500 people in. So having somewhere local would be ideal.
Yeah, literally anything, as long as you can host it indoors, we can do that. So.
Great.
You can place your deposit now if you want. Andy, you're shooting. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Liv.
And my name's Disha.
And today we're here to tell you all about our business idea, Student Chef. So we wanted to start by asking you all a question. Who here has ever felt out of their depth when it comes to cooking? Okay, and that's what we thought. We've also felt like this, and this is why we decided to create Student Chef. Our app is designed to help teach students how to cook, and we will be providing students with a discount on their groceries, as well as recipes and meal inspiration, and clear step-by-step instructions on how to recreate these meals for themselves.
So we have 4 main objectives which we try to stick to. The first one being independence. So students can look for recipes using our app. They can then look for the ingredients which they need to cook the meal, and then they can buy those recipes at a lower price using the supermarket discount which we offer within our app. The next one is organisation. So we understand as Student Chef that students lead very busy lives. So this is why our quick, simple meals can fit into any kind of busy schedule. There's no need to kind of call mum or dad. You can kind of just cook it on your own. Yeah.
So we also think that budgeting is something which is really important, and teaching students how to manage their money is a vital skill. So we all know that there's a cost of living crisis in the UK at the moment, and we feel that it's important to help students manage a budget. The average student in the UK will spend £45 a week on food, and we hope that by using our app they can reduce this bill. As well as this, we would like to give students more knowledge about nutrition. We want to educate young people about the food that they're eating and help them create balanced and healthy meals that they will continue to make as adults. So, what inspired us? Well, quite simply, my brother was leaving for university, and my parents were worried about him. They were worrying about what he was going to eat because, quite frankly, the extent of his culinary skills are a few pieces of toast. And we thought, surely it can't just be my brother, there's surely going to be other students that are like this. And after some research, we found that in fact, 1 in 4 graduates leaves university unable to make a meal. which we thought was quite a shocking statistic.
Definitely. So we carried out some research in our school just to find out more about our audience.
Evie, do you know how to cook? Sometimes I can do a frozen pizza and an omelette.
Yeah, some dishes.
Pasta.
If you consider making some instant ramen and some cooking, then I'm actually insane. I have no clue. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook, to be honest. No, not at all. No clue. Nope.
Would you be interested in learning how to cook?
Yeah, I think cooking is a vital life skill to have, especially if people are considering going to uni. You're going to have to learn to cook.
I'd love to learn how to cook because I genuinely would burn the house down.
Of course. The learning thing's nice.
Definitely, yeah.
How long would you be willing to spend on making these dishes?
Probably 30 minutes to 1 hour.
I'd say depending on the quality of the dish, if it's really quality it might spend an hour, but I'd like to spend less than that because I'm quite busy.
Maybe like if it was a good meal, probably like 20 minutes.
Sometimes.
So, as you can see from our video, many students do not know how to cook. And we thought we'd show you some actual examples of real students' meals that they have attempted to make. And I don't know about you, but personally, I'd rather not eat many of these meals as they look quite unappetising and some inedible.
But as they say, you can't cry over burnt toast, it will only make it soggy. So, what does Student Chef offer? Our app has a range of different features, including obviously the supermarket discount. We have recipe ideas and nutrition advice, as well as the student account. We also have a parent account. Now, this means that parents can send recipes to their children via our app. This is, I suppose, easier for the students as they can refer back to those recipes and they can try recreating any recipes or any meals that perhaps remind them of home. We believe that Student Chef is a safe space for students, meaning we can provide any kind of support they need, for example, links to mental health charities within our app.
And we want Student Chef to be as accessible as possible for all students, which is why we decided to make the app free for students to use. All they have to do is simply fill in their details and enter their student email address to verify their student status.
Okay, our competitors. What makes us different? How are we different to Student Beans or Uni Days? Yeah, we all have the same aim to make cooking, perhaps providing discounts to students, but Student Chef focuses on the shopping aspect of it, perhaps like groceries, food. We want to provide discounts specifically for their groceries to reduce their grocery bills. How are we different to HelloFresh, Gusto? What makes us different to them? Again, we have the same aim of making cooking quick and easy. However, we believe that Student Chef is a cheaper alternative because students can then buy those ingredients that they need and can use our supermarket discount, which we provide them, to buy them at a lower price. Again, what makes us different to Just Eat and Deliveroo? Well, I mean, you can say it's easy to order food online, isn't it? But do you feel like you're going to gain the vital skills you need to cook if you order food online? Well, you won't. That's why we've designed Student Chef, because you can, while learning how to cook meals from scratch, students can gain key skills which they can use in any areas of their life. As a whole, we as Student Chef believe that by providing students with discounts and recipes, we can make that step to adulthood. Would that be easier?
That's all from us. Thank you very much for listening, and any questions, welcome.
Okay, a little over 7 minutes. That's really good timing. Right, Hugh, do you want to go first this time? Do you want to kick off?
No. So you said it's going to be a free app for students, which is great. How does it make you money?
So as our app is for students, we believe that it would be a good opportunity to use third-party advertising in our app, as any businesses who want to target students specifically can pay us to advertise their products to students or parents
on the parent account.
Cool, thank you.
If a parent then sends a recipe in, is that something you'd share with everybody?
No, they can choose to keep it private, so it's just sent to their child. And we also plan to use social media to promote Student Chef, so using #StudentChef, and people can share with everyone online any recipes they want to share.
Having watched my son try to cook, are you considering including some kind of instructional video?
Yes.
No, how to butter bread, that sort of
Yeah.
thing? Yes.
Yeah,
It's got to be done in the TikTok way, though, so you engage with
Yeah,
it.
we would encourage people to share this with #StudentChef if they've got any tips that they could film and share on sites like TikTok. Yeah.
My question was actually going to be around how you're going to build a community from this, and you just answered it perfectly.
Okay. Any
yes.
other questions?
So these food discounts, how does that work? You contact supermarkets, do you? Or
Yeah,
something?
we'd be looking to partner with a supermarket, and in return we'd be giving them, they can have a part of the money that we're going to be generating from the advertising, third-party advertising, but they're also going to be helping the community, so they'll have a good reputation, and we also think that then the students that are going to the supermarkets will get used to their products, and they'll potentially have loyal customers for life as well.
How are you going to be supporting various diets, including vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free?
So we'll be making sure that our app provides recipes that can cater for all kinds of dietary requirements, such as vegan and gluten-free and vegetarian. So if they search for a recipe, they can just simply find whatever suits them.
Amazing.
Okay, great. Big round of applause.
Okay. So the judges have had some deliberations and made their decisions. Before we start awarding prizes, I'd just like to say how overwhelmed we are by the quality of your ideas, all of you. Every single group have all presented original thoughts, original business ideas. I'm a lecturer in entrepreneurship and enterprise. I'd love to have any of you in my classrooms because you're the kind of students we want, people with such imagination. It's brilliant. So I think you can all be really proud of what you've produced today and the way you professionally pitched your ideas. I couldn't have done that at your age. You all pitched to us professionally. You all had really innovative ideas with your slides and some of your videos and some animations. It was fabulous. So don't lose that creativity, hang on to it. All of you presented have got, you're natural entrepreneurs. You could all start your own businesses if you wanted to. You've all got it within you to do that. Yeah, so don't lose that creativity. Don't lose that excitement. Yeah, you've all done an outstanding job.
Okay, I'd just like to, if everyone could just put their own hands together for Andy, Nick, Duncan, Hugh, Andy and Charles, please. So we had to get some guidance outside from our Growth Hub experts on the side there that also added in to triangulate some of the decisions made. Right, okay. First of all, then, in sort of, we've had to change a few of the categories slightly because it's really blimmin' difficult. It was really difficult, and in one way, some of the panel were all, yeah, great. We can see that. And in some ways, it was like, but how about that group? They did this, and the other. So, first of all, I'd like to invite the best team group presentation, which was the... which was Plates and Shakes. Come to the forward, please. So, Andy, thank you. Andy's got unapologetic gift vouchers for you guys there. And, need to get a few pictures. Andy, we have to have a split with this one, and there will be sort of maybe the two groups can switch around a prize here, depending on who wants what. So the most entrepreneurial idea and innovative idea was really difficult because there were two and the panel was split. We feel, or the panel feels, that Genesis was slightly stronger. So if you want to come up first. There we go, thank you very much. No, this was quite close. So it was very close, but the really innovative idea that everyone liked was Matt's team. So if you want to come forward again. Right, Hugh loved this. Hugh loved this idea. The most likely to get to market by the whole panel. This category was won by this team. Quite clearly, this is Crown hair products. Thank you very much, guys. Well done. Right, so this one was, I think, quite clear, Andy. The most professional, individual, and transformational. There was two people. And Andy, do you want to say who they were?
Yes, there were two winners. The first is Charlotte from Dean Magma, and the second is Olivia from Cleeve School.
Come down, please. Round of applause. Right, okay, so we have all done that. So right, so now, do you want to be done? The overall winning teams?
So, this is the moment you'll be waiting for the actual overall winners of the whole event. This was very, very... There are two teams that absolutely smashed it. And they absolutely smashed it, and we just couldn't part in. So we got two winners. Our overall winners are Student Chef and Community Cupboard. You were both amazing. You presented without notes. You presented confidently.
Give me an applause.